Morning, everybody. Today's an asynchronous day, so I wanted to give you a quick little lesson on what we're going to do. I want you to get started on Lab 01. So if you haven't finished Lab 00 and Exercise 00, I want you to go ahead and I want you to get those submitted as soon as possible. They were due on Monday. So here's what we need to do for Lab 01. You want to go down here to Unit 1, Carol the Robot. We're going to do Lab Exercise 01, the student and books. And inside this, just so you know, everything you need to know is in this file right here. So there's a PowerPoint, if you go ahead and open, that walks through all of the information that we need to know in order to make the lab work, Lab 01. Here is Lab 01. We open that up. There's the instructions on Lab 01 and how that's going to work. And then there's an exercise. I would say let's just start primarily on looking at the slides and getting started on the exercise. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and I want to show you a quick way that you can kind of get yourself started when you're going to work on a program. So what's happening here is you see the JGrasp is going to pop up. And what I want you to realize when we deal with JGrasp is what we're going to do is we're going to start with the previous file that we have, which is Lab 00. The way you are going to change this is you want to go and open Lab 00 and then follow the following instructions. First, you want to go ahead and change the date that you're working on up here. So you want to make it 9/23/2020. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that the way that it is we need to import these two files every single time. So by starting with Lab 00, you don't have to type it all over again. What you're going to do is down here on this line 5 where it says Lab 00, you're going to do Lab 01. And you're going to do File. You're going to do Save As. And what's going to happen is it should change to Lab 01 down here in the file name. And what happens when you do that is you are going to save another version. And when I do that, I'm not going to save mine because I've already done it. You're going to end up with this file right here, Lab 01. Again, if you look, it has my name, it has today's date, which would be the 23rd, and then it has these two imports that we always are going to need to use. Lab 01, we still have a main method, and what I want to talk about now is a little bit about commenting. So we have our main method like we did in Lab 00. We have our main method, and what we are going to do is section 1 is these 3 lines are always going to be you setting up your world. In other words, what I mean is when you go to do this lab, what you need to do is you actually need to say what map and what size map should we use. That's what these 3 lines of code do. Open world. So what you should have in here is I believe you all should have first map in there. What's going to happen is you're going to change that, and you should change that according to the specifications of our lab. If you look at the specifications of Lab 01, it'll tell you what map to put there. It'll also tell you what size to put there. In terms of the size of the map, you'll look at it in the specifications part. The next thing you want to do is your speed, and your speed is going to be 3. Start off slow so you can see what's happening. The next section, like we had in Lab 00, was we had the following instructions in Lab 00. We had robot Carol equals new robot. That's a default robot. A robot starting at 1-1, facing to the east, holding 0 beepers. That's what a default robot is. What you are going to do is you are going to create 2 robots, one named Lisa, one named Pete. So robot Lisa equals new robot. Robot Pete equals new robot, and inside here, what you want to do inside the parentheses, you need to figure out, is Lisa a default robot or is Lisa not a default robot? If it was a default robot, you'd have no instructions inside. If you have instructions, it should be 4 instructions. It should be the X value, comma, the Y value, comma, display dot, and then in all caps, north, south, east, or west, one of those 4 specifications will tell you. And then how many beepers you want to hold. And this robot will hold 0 beepers, again, in the specifications document. The final section you're going to do is section 3 here. And what that section 3 is going to do is you have to get Lisa to follow some commands. And you're going to give every single command that Lisa needs to follow. So in other words, when you get through here, what it's going to see is you're going to have Lisa here. You're going to have Pete here. You need to give the commands for Lisa to move into this closet, pick up the beeper, come out of the closet here, come up, hand off the beeper to Pete. Pete is then going to take the rest of the way to the closet and drop it off. There's only 4 commands that you can use. You can use the dot move command, the dot turn left command, the dot pick beeper command, excuse me, and the dot put beeper command. Those are the only 4 commands you can use. So you need to figure out how to use this. I'm going to give you a piece of advice. It's going to be like 40 or 50 lines of code you're going to put in because you need to manually move Lisa to the room to get the beeper to Pete. Then you need to move Pete from that next room to the closet where he puts down the beeper, the book, and moves on. So what I'm saying specifications is it's all right here. That is your goal. Your goal is to get started on that and see how much of it you can get done. For those that had already completed it, what I'm going to ask you to do is go back and make sure you comment it appropriately because I'm looking for comments on this lab. I will review a little bit on Thursday. If you happen to get this lab done today on Wednesday, I'm sorry, on Friday. If you happen to get this lab done today on Wednesday, what will happen on Friday is I will open up Lab 02 and give you Lab 02 to work on. Don't forget the exercise for 01. It's going to be some questions that you should be able to answer. Again, Friday, we can kind of close the loop on that. Have a great day. And the only thing I want to let you need to do for me to prove that you were kind of here for class is the end of this video. In Schoology, shoot me an email and tell me that you watched this video by commenting the word Carol. So all you need to do in the assignment that this was offered in was respond the word Carol, K-A-R-E-L, respond the word Carol in the Create tab. That shows that you watched to the end of this video. Again, you want to go into the Create tab and you want to respond with the word Carol, K-A-R-E-L, and that'll show me that you watched this. Have a good day.